with Chris Bloomquist on the screen. If you're watching this video, it's because you've gotten a LinkedIn message from this man about a specific role. This is an innovative way for us to tell you about the job, so we're not just some random people spamming you with jobs. So Chris, tell us a little bit about why whoever's receiving this link might be interested. What is the role? And tell me about the client, and please take the floor.
Thank you, Tim, and good morning, everyone. Chris, the Talent Mind here. So, yeah, our client is, I've known this director of engineering that reached out to us for 15 years. So we'll start with him. He's a career entrepreneur. He's a startup guy. He's an innovator. He's also a real pay it forward guy. He's a hands-on engineer that knows what it's like to be an engineer and how to treat engineers. You know, it's about trust, it's respect, it's innovation, it's, hey, let's partner on this. He's not a top-down guy. He's very much, let's work together to solve problems and make it a collaboration. And so the person you'll be working for and working with has a working with mindset. Okay, that's great to hear. And is this role remote? Yeah, that's a good question, Tim. So position's 100% remote. There are, if you're in the Texas area, the Plano, Texas area, the good news is you can go into the office if you want to sometimes. There is a team, there's a real office. Company's about 50, 60 employees right now. They're rapidly growing. And you get the freedom and flexibility wherever you live to be 100% remote. And in fact, Roger, the hiring manager, lives in the Seattle area. So if you happen to be in the Seattle area, you want to grab coffee with them once in a while, again, you can meet. So it's more about the opportunities 100% remote. And if you wanted to meet some of the team, those are a couple of locations where you could do that on an occasional basis. Okay, cool. And I'm imagining I'm a hypothetical engineer who's open to this opportunity. So tell me a little bit about what this company does. Tell me a little bit about what roles they're hiring for, what role I might play in it. That's great. Yeah, please. Yeah, it's a really good question. So this company, again, it's a startup, Series A funded. It's a SaaS-based .NET stacked application. Kind of a hybrid environment, actually. So .NET, .NET Core application with some React in there, and an AWS backend. That's where the hybrid part comes in a little bit. So it's all about, hey, what's the best tool for the job? They're not married necessarily to one stack, right? It's more about the creativity of it, so and the efficiency of it. Say it again. This is full stack work. Full stack work. Okay. So the role itself is we need like a really solid, we'll say up and coming to mid-level .NET cloud developer. And I say it that way because it is full stack, but if there's tendencies of it, it's back end to DevOps focused in the realm of application developer. So, if I'm a candidate and I'm thinking about this role, let's say, for example, you're interviewing at Microsoft, or you work at Microsoft, you have a really narrow job title and responsibility. You're working on an API and that's it. You don't do front, you don't do middle necessarily. This is the beauty of the position, Tim, because it's front to back, it's way back end focused, but you get to have your hands in front, middle, back, ops, the whole nine. And so you could end up being like the backup to the DevOps architect that they're also hiring for. And that breadth of experience is, in my opinion, really hard to find and also uniquely valuable to growing your skill set. Yeah, that's great to hear. And you mentioned that, I don't know if you mentioned the size of the team that sure. But maybe tell me a bit about that. You bet. So company, again, they're just over 50, somewhere between 50 and 60 employees. They are growing on a monthly basis. The actual team size, I think they're sitting around like 3 or 4 people. They have the director, a couple developers. They're hiring for a principal DevOps architect that you would work with. They're hiring for this kind of a mid-level .NET/DevOps type of position, mid-level candidate. And then, there's some UX folks. They're big enough to have, different divisions of labor within technology, but call it like 4 or 5 team members, pretty small, pretty tight knit. Okay, good to hear. And then in terms of compensation, I know that they're hiring for 2 roles. So tell me a little bit about what I can expect or what they can. I would always start with this. I'm the developer here. No, this is good, Jim. This is good. It's meta. Go ahead. I love it. So, and we are both developers by day, so there you go. It's relevant. Yeah, I would say the right candidate is going to be, 3 to 5 years of experience, 80, 90K range or so, right? There's a little flexibility there, but that's kind of the ballpark. I don't think it's going to be like 110, 120K candidate insofar that it's more seasoned than they need. So the compensation, as most of us recruiters say, is kind of depends on experience, DOE. But I think the right candidate's going to come somewhere between, at minimum, 75K in terms of their experience and expectation, up to around 90K or so. And then they'd have full benefits. Again, that freedom and flexibility. Oh, by the way, the compensation will have a package that includes ownership in the organization. It'd be, stock options. Sometimes that's kind of funny money. But Tim, what I'd want people to know is the CEO of the organization just got out of an organization after 9 years that was $1 billion startup. It was a unicorn. And he hired his people with. So this is a CEO that is a visionary, that has a track record of very high level success. Those stock options have some weight. This is someone that's turned nothing into $1 billion, literally. So, a lot of companies kind of like throw it out there. Oh, there's stock options and it's funny money. This guy's done it before. And those stock options have some weight because of it. You'd be working with a team that has been successful with startups in the past, very successful.
That's fantastic. And in the interview process, what could they expect?
You bet. 3 rounds and really quick. So Roger, the director, said we could do 3 rounds in 1 week, start to finish. Conversation with Roger, the director. It's more of a culture fit. Second rounds, call it an hour and a half to 2 hours tops, a collab edit type of thing, right? Let's code together. The other cool thing candidates would like to know, this is not a computer science 201 interview. They're not going to ask you, where were you on the night of Big O notation or polymorphism or canned interview questions, right? It's going to be, let's be practical. Let's talk as peers. Here's a problem. Let's solve it together. Let's see how you collaborate, how you think, how you problem solve from a practical standpoint, and make it a conversation, not an interrogation, which is a way more practical way to interview candidates. They get a better sense for you and vice versa. So it's way warmer. And then the final interview is make the rounds with some of the people on the team, some of the business owners, maybe it's some, a project manager, things like that. So they do the final, hey, you're technically vetted. We vetted you on the basic culture fit at the beginning. Now let's have the team make a final say on it and have everyone be able to learn about you and you learn about them before they make a decision. So again, based on your schedule and theirs, they can do that as quickly as 1 week, 5 business days.
All right, that's fantastic. I think we've covered most of it. This might just be my dense understanding, but remind me briefly again in a summary what the company does exactly. Yeah.
Yep. No, and that's a fair question. I'll nail it more specifically. So, leadership software. It's .NET stacked, but it's a SaaS-based, software service-based leadership software to develop and cultivate leaders and leadership. So there's some training elements to it. There's also some collaboration elements to it, but they're all about cultivating leadership values, skills, and qualities through their software. And it's inspiring. Like when I talk to Roger, he's been there a year, and I would just say, man, give yourself the opportunity to talk to Roger as the director. He has a really strong vision for this. He's a selective guy as a candidate. And for him to tell me, hey, Chris, this is one of the best companies I've worked with in the last, 5 to 10 years. And I really believe in it. And I love these guys because of the values, because of how we treat people, because how I'm treated, because of what the software does for people's careers. He's fired up about working with these guys. And I think you will be too.
Okay, awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before we close?
No, other than, when you put your faith and trust in working with Tim and myself, the talent mind, just know, and this is a genuine statement, we are engineers by trade. I'm a former embedded software engineer by degree and by trade. Tim's a former web developer. We pride ourselves in being technologists that, work with you as a peer, not as a recruiter. So we hope you have the opportunity to talk with you, build that professional relationship, and lend you that level of expertise.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Chris. And to the candidate, I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I hope you watched it at 2 times the speed because this was a long video. All right, Chris, I'll talk to you later.
Have a great day from the mountains of wherever.
Okay. See ya.